Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to go look at another magic item out of the DMG. We're going to look at the robe of useful items. Here he is, the robe of useful items. What the heck is this thing? This is actually a neat little magic item that's going to give the player a great deal of utility, but not really going to be anything overpowering for your game. Although the robe of useful items appears to be an unremarkable item of apparel, if it's worn, the magic user will note that it has small cloth patches of various shapes sewn onto it. The wearer, and only the wearer of the robe, can see, recognize, and detach any one of these patches in one round. Detaching a patch causes it to become the actual item as indicated below. A robe will always have two of each of the following patches: dagger, lantern, filled and lit, a mirror, large, 10-foot pole, 50-foot of rope, and a large sack. That's some really useful dungeon gear. It's a great way to carry it around without worrying about encumbrance. I like the idea that the lantern is filled and lit. Additionally, the robe will have 4 to 16 of the following magic items, which must be diced for. So we percentage dice here. You would throw 4 die 4, and if you rolled 10, you would roll 10 of these. 1 through 8, bag of 100 gold pieces. 9 through 15, a coffer. Half foot by 1 foot, silver coffer, 500 gold piece value. 19 through 22, a door, iron, must be 10 foot wide and 10 foot high and barred on one side. Must be placed upright and it will attach and hinge itself. Be a good way to block off a hallway. 23 to 30, gems, 10 of 100 gold piece value each. That's pretty useful to have. 31 to 44, a ladder, wooden, 24 foot long. That's big. 45 to 51, a mule with saddlebags. It doesn't say if the saddlebags are full. I would say they are not. 52 to 59, a pit, 10 cubic feet, open. You just toss this down. It's kind of neat. 60 by 68, a potion of extra healing. 60 to 68, 69 to 75, a rowboat boat, 12 foot long. 76 to 83, a scroll of one spell, and then you as the DM would have to specify what the spell was. 84 to 90, a pair of war dogs. 91 to 96, a window, 2 foot by 4 foot, up to 2 feet deep. So you could use it to create an opening into that locked dungeon room that you need to get into. And then 97 to 100, roll twice more, so you get an extra item out of it. Multiple items of the same kind are permissible. Once removed, any item may never be replaced. So you have to be careful when you use this, and that was one of the things that always kind of slowed folks down from taking the items, the patches off, because once they're gone for good. I've given out a few of these over the years. They're really good as a lower level to medium level magic item when the players are worried about encumbrance and not having the 50 feet of rope, not having the lantern. This can be a really nice thing for the players to have. It can also be a source of some pretty good gold at 100 gold pieces there, 500 there, and then a couple other 10, 100 gold piece value gems. It's a good source to carry around some cash. So it can be useful in that regard. Incidentally, we do give out 1 experience point per gold piece given. I do not give out experience points for this type of treasure gotten off an item. Just something that over the years, I've never really given experience for. As far as the origin of the robe of useful items, I've said before that Gary Gygax, of course, was born in Chicago, and he was raised in the Chicagoland area and then moved to Lake Geneva. And Lake Geneva used to get the WGN signal broadcast from Chicago. WGN had a children's host who was on for about 20 years, from the early 60s to the early 80s, named Ray Rayner. His show was Ray Rayner and Friends. Ray Rayner would show the old Warner Brothers cartoons, which I've said in previous videos I feel influenced D&D. And Ray Rayner himself, for his bit, would wear a jumpsuit usually, covered in notes pinned to him. This is before Post-its. He would wear all these notes on him, and then when it was time to throw this show to a commercial or to a cartoon, he'd pull the note off, and they'd look at it, pretending to read it, and go, "Oh, it's time for a cartoon." And then as the show would progress, he'd have less and less notes on him as the show went on. This was a bit he did pretty consistently throughout the run of the show. I always felt that the robe of useful items came from Ray Rayner and Friends of the WGN broadcasting from the early 60s to the early 80s. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you know Ray Rayner, if you Used to like his show. I did. Ray Rayner was on coincidentally pretty much the entire time I was in school, from kindergarten through college. I just happened to kind of land there where Ray Rayner was how I started my morning each day. He was how we found out if the school was closed because of snow days and stuff like that. Back before there was internet and alerts went out, you had to listen to the radio or watch a TV broadcast to see if your school's name came up. And Ray Rayner was one of our main sources for that. So that's it for the robe of eyes. Robe of useful items. Sorry, I was looking elsewhere. Robe of useful items. And it is a useful robe. I do like it. I like giving this robe out. I've given it out on a number of occasions. And I do recommend it. As I said, to me, this is a good lower to medium level item. By the time the group is getting up around 10th, 12th level, this item's just not going to be that useful anymore. Also, incidentally, I gave one out years ago as a joke that had a kick me sign on the back. And the wearer can only see the patches when he's got it on. So when he was wearing it, he couldn't see the kick me sign on the back, but the other players could. I had a lot of fun with that for a little while. It was about 2 games before the players let him know that. And I let all the other players know about it. You know, if he got up and left the room to use the facilities or get a pop or something, I would be sure to tell the players, and then they'd all snigger about it. And then we would go ahead and have a lot of fun at the player's expense with this kick me sign on his back. And then eventually they fessed up that there was a kick me sign, and he reached around and pulled it off. It was just a little gag I did. It had no ill effects. Didn't make monsters attack him or anything. It was just something silly I did. So that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I hope you like what you heard and saw. If you did, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.